to the next level.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Coach Tiffany Parra, Editor-in-Chief of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics magazine, elevating your mind, body, and spirit. Today, we have our cover girl spotlight. I am so excited to introduce you all to our December cover girl. Let me go ahead and bring her on in the house.
Hey, Tiffany.
How are you? Beautiful.
Thank you. How are you? I'm just so excited. I'm watching your intro and I'm like, wow, look at Tiffany.
Thank you so much, sweetie. Oh my goodness. I am just, so excited to have you on the show. I'm so proud of you. Please, for those that have not yet met you, have had the privilege of meeting you, please share with everyone who you are, where you're from, and just a little bit about what you do, because we're going to dig in.
Hi, I'm Sherry West. I am the marketing manager for LA Girl Cosmetics, formerly even Black Radiance Cosmetics. Prior to that, I spent my career in the fashion industry. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, city of brotherly love. Been in California about 17 years, but pretty much been a storyteller in fashion and now beauty. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And so now I'm writing my first book, basically around what I did, what really transformed my career, and really gave me sort of like this purpose. You just never know, you set out to do one thing and you wind up doing something else. And so I think that's what we're going to be talking about today is how my career, my talents have influenced culture unexpectedly, unwittingly, and such a thing. But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. And that's who I am.
Awesome.
So let's keep going. Let's jump into it.
Okay. So you talked about that pop culture and that culture, right? So on the cover, if y'all haven't seen the cover yet, you need to go out and get the digital magazine. Go to Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Mag 2021.com. Get your subscription. On the cover of December, we have Sherry. She is the princess of pullover pop culture. Sherry, how did you come up with the princess of pullover pop culture? Please share.
Well, it was a process. Okay. So first came the book that I started doing. I was inspired to write about a book about the sweaters I designed in the late 80s and early 90s for a company called Eagle's Eye, which was one of the prominent sportswear companies back then. But they had like a capsule collection called Treasure Chest. And inside that treasure chest were called My Favorite Things of novelty sweaters. And when I started with the company, I was starting to do some designs and they were starting to do really well. I started as an assistant and gradually I kind of took over that component and then eventually, became the head designer, all sorts of things. But inside that collection of novelty conversational sweaters, which was like kind of like our early Facebook. Facebook didn't exist back then. And so we would design these novelty conversational sweaters around life experiences or industry. And so my life began to come out onto these sweaters. Like, even though I was designing for, like, at that time when I was recruited before I even graduated college. So when I graduated, I had a job to go to in like a week or so. So I worked for this company, Eagle's Eye, and they were a Philadelphia sportswear company, women's wear. And so I was fortunate to land a job with this company. And just learning about what they did and how they did it, I was just easily transformed into learning who their customer was, and then starting to tell these stories. Like, so when you're designing a collection, you are thinking about what the season is, what the color story is. What's that story you want to tell when someone buys your collection on the floor of a department store? They're going to buy certain pieces. Do they want a skirt? Do they want a pant? Do they want a blouse? Sweaters was what they were really known for. But then this novelty, colorful, conversational capsule was kind of where I really started to flourish. And like my childhood instincts and things I learned, like paint by numbers and things like that, and being an honors art student, those things started to transform into these sweaters. And then, the president would ask for certain things, and then I would just go back into my memories and my childhood, and what story could I tell that was very unique, and also to compete with our competitors at the same time. I was very competitive. So how can I outdo my competitors? So over the pandemic, I started hearing earlier on like these ugly Christmas sweaters, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I used to design these things that were called novelty. And so I started thinking, well, I have not too much else to do in the pandemic. We're all home alone doing pretty much nothing.
Right.
And then I started to comb the internet and see, if I could find some of my old designs. And I did. I started combing the internet and seeing and I was like, oh my gosh, I could actually find them. And then literally over the last 4 years or so, I have collected over 60 of my sweaters. And I decided I'm going to write this book. I had to come up with a title. The cover was like, just gnawing at me. So many different obstacles I had to go through, but it was collecting the sweaters. And some of them I found in mint condition with even the original tags on them, which I was like, oh my gosh. And some of them were very expensive. Some I had to bid on. But yeah, over these, and then the process of photographing them, putting them on models. And so it has been a process, but I came up with the title because the sweaters that were really the anchor of this treasure chest were called My Favorite Things. And so there were like these little blocks of images. And how I took over was the old ones. I couldn't even go, what are these images supposed to be? But being a good artist, I was able to take those old designs and regraph them so that the knitters could come up, you could actually see what was going on. And then the owners and my bosses started going, do more of that, do more of that. They would just like watch me go. And eventually I became the head designer and just really took over the whole women's collection and My Favorite Things. And then I would have to kind of reinvent myself every season. Like, okay, that one did well. So okay, got to do another one and another one, another one. And now I just said my favorite things are ugly because they're now called ugly Christmas sweaters. Even if it's not a Christmas sweater, people just try and find these novelty sweaters. So that's how this whole thing came to be. In a nutshell.
So in your upcoming book, My Favorite Things Are Ugly, you said it connects fashion, it's connecting storytelling, pop culture. What do you hope the readers will take from my Favorite Things Are Ugly?
Good question. So first of all, it's going to be a 10 by 13 coffee table book. So
Nice.
it is like, because they're so bright and vibrant sweaters that, when you see these design books, they're all very sophisticated, like Ralph Lauren or, Louis Vuitton or whatever, but, just close-ups and the stories behind it. So it's a page turner of these hand-knitted stitches of like just beautiful, like artistry. So what I want the person who's most people, there are about 16 million people who search ugly Christmas sweaters or Christmas sweaters every year.
Wow.
And so I'm tapping into my marketing background and say, okay, that's my customer right away, right? That's the person I want to buy this book, because if they have a bunch of sweaters, but why wouldn't they be able to appreciate the designs all year round, right on their coffee table. They can flip, they can get excited, they can go, oh, I remember this, or this was so exciting. So and also too to take this ugly or pop culture of pullovers and give them their rightful space in fashion history, because fashion has a huge history. And you see these little pops in like, even as I've been researching where it actually began. So, you like the owners of the company, they would get these like Fair Isle sweaters, or they design these Fair Isle sweaters and they would sell them. But most of their inspiration would come from like England. So, the whole Fair Isles began long, sort of like with royalty and things like that. But then gradually they started changing. But you see these patterns, these, Fair Isles and intarges. What I did was mostly intarges, which I'll show you. I'll just pull up one. This one was like my Wild West reward sweater. And this one came about because my last name is West. And I grew up watching Wild Wild West. So this one was inspired by the Wild Wild West show and my last name. And being able to kind of like I want to say a beautiful mind, take the images and put them into stitches on graph paper, and being able to instruct knitters how to knit those things. So anyway, I probably lost track of the actual question that you asked, but so the idea is to really say where this began, and then go back and insert into history. Because now this ugly Christmas sweater trend has been reignited, sort of dubbed ugly Christmas sweaters by millennials. Mm-hmm. And now you got the Gen Zs, and they all love this. And you got all these other companies coming out with them, but they're all machine made. These are all knitted by hand. Mm-hmm. So it's a twofold, threefold purpose of to say, hey, by the way, this company, Eagle's Eye, which I was the head designer for 6 years, really was the leader. There were a couple different companies and we all kind of just competed, really just like, can we outdo each other? And it became, for me, it was fun. Like, oh, so-and-so came up with this, I can do better than that. And then by putting my own life experiences in, then it's hard, like people don't see how my life is in these sweaters. Like I was a cheerleader in high school for 4 years. So I got these cheerleader sweaters. I got my school colors and things like that. And even the owners didn't know where some of this inspiration came from. One of the early ones that I think might've been in the article was like, eat your veggies, like, like the veggies, right? And so I like to put surprises on the back, because originally when I first started designing, we didn't have anything on the back, and I'm like, oh, all this stuff is going on in the front. Like I want to surprise them in the back. So I would get their approval, because it costs more to do designs on the back. But I think even as a kid, like I didn't like eating vegetables so much, and I could hear my mom going, eat your vegetables.
Right.
So that was this one, which became like a #1 seller, became an ode to her. A lot of these are actually kind of an ode to my mom, unexpectedly, or things we came up with, or what we grew up with, like even the Christmas sweaters. I'm looking here, my, 12 days of Christmas, we could take a theme, and then somehow I have to come up with how I'm going to picture this, or graph it and make it fit and tell the story, right? Or to tell the song. So
that is so neat, though, just to be able to tell a story through a sweater, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone.
And not only that, I still have the women's collection.
Yeah.
To lead and design. I have my team. I grew my team and everything, but Treasure Chest really kind of started taking over, because you had big department stores like Macy's and Nordstrom's and all those, department stores that you don't even hear of, like Dillard's and things like that, all over the country, that would just be buying these collections because they look great on the floor of the department store. They're driving traffic, and then you have all the other collections, and it was just one of those things that I was a part of, that I just had no idea when I was doing it, that it was a part of now the next generations. So that's why I want to see this inserted into fashion history, like kind of just stake a claim, because even when you're reading stories, they try and assert ugly Christmas sweaters to a movie or something like that. It's actually before then. And
Right.
these sweaters are, like still being bidded on, on eBay. And my goodness, did I spend a fortune recollecting some of my designs. I had some, but I got all my favorite ones. And so they were going to all be in the book. And this is just volume 1. I mean, because there's so many over the course of time. And even after I left that company, I continued to design those. And then I did a children's line that have a similar sort of feel. So, or baby line. So, yeah, it's just that we don't have that industry anymore to do hand knits. It costs a fortune now to do those.
Yeah, everything costs a fortune these days. So you really do juggle a whole lot in your life, Sherry. I mean, managing and representing one of the major beauty brands, now becoming an author, showing up for your family. I mean, just all this juggling. So what's the biggest key to just staying focused and not burning out? Because I know a lot of people out there that are probably doing a lot less and they're burned out.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, my relationship with God, is paramount. Jesus keeps me grounded, staying focused, and just having those principles of Christ in my life that helps me to stay focused, not burn out. I just believe that what I'm doing is sort of inspired, or God gave me this talent.
Yeah.
I'm just telling another story about it. And so that's the key, first and foremost, like prayers, fellowshipping with like-minded people. But I try, as I get older, I try and get more sleep. Need that. I used to run on like nothing. I just keep going and going and going. Now I'm like, I got to go to bed.
Right.
Eating well, taking my vitamins. That's really important. But yeah, like less sugar. Forget the holidays. I went off the diet.
Okay, look, as you should.
I'm not gonna lie. I ate a lot of stuff. I cooked a lot of stuff for my family, and that requires some sugar. But yeah, I think and then exercise is key. Stretching, doing some time in the gym, that helps. Stay young. Being in fashion, being in beauty, it's like you have to keep up with the trends. You have to keep up. At least I do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get left behind. You have to know what's going on. And fashion and beauty go neck and neck together. So, and it's the younger generations that are just moving it forward. It's like, oh my God, what are they doing now? Like we have to stay on the forefront of that. So, and then to tell the stories and to come up with the new products and to come up with the new shades and what's the new catchphrases that they're using. So, yeah, I kind of have to be on my game, but I also stay social in terms of research, not to say posting so much. I used to do a lot of social media with the other brand. But right now it's more about learning and catching up and staying focused on what's going on. And to do that, your mind has to be fresh. Yeah. So again, I say, getting sleep, staying hydrated, exercising. And then when I'm feeling like sort of, not to say burnt out or just, I need a moment to just stop.
Yeah.
I'll go to massage, get a massage and go to a spa and just get some me time. And outside of that, I like to veg out in front of the TV a little bit just to take my mind away from what's the next campaign I have to come up with, which product needs this campaign or what needs to go. I'll turn on the TV and maybe sometime, and I'll turn with the timer on, so I'll fall asleep because sometimes it gets a little dumb. TV can get a little like insipid, and so I'll just go, okay, but I need to stop thinking because my brain is just constantly going. What's that?
You got to turn this off sometimes. So.
Right. So to turn this off, I have to turn the TV on. True. Yeah, I do. And I do like TV. And I love movies. So I like to go to the theater. I love performing arts and things like that. I appreciate that. And like to go to museums and things and look at other artists, what they're doing. And that truly inspires me. And, TV and movies if it's a really great story, it's inspiring.
Mhm.
If it's a period piece, I'm looking at the fashions or like how they came up with that, or having worked on movies before too, looking at the fabrics that they're using. So my brain is just inspired by other people's talents,
Yeah.
and it inspires me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Sherry, I know writing a book can be very tough. There's a lot of people out there that have, a story that they're sitting on. What's an inspirational message that you can give to, some aspiring authors that are out there, just to help them to get their story out there, get their brilliance out there?
Well, because I'm still writing my book, it's a 300-page coffee table book, and I'm a little bit more than halfway through it. I think one of the things that helps me is to set an alarm as a reminder. Work on your book X amount of hours. Like,
Mm,
so I have a reminder almost every day. So even if I don't do it every day, that reminder's coming up every day, at a certain period of time when I know I'm done work or when I'm done eating, put in an hour or so. Um, so if you're inspired to write a book, somewhere deep inside you something is telling you to write this book. And
mhm.
I think that it's going to keep gnawing at you until you do it, because or you'll regret not doing it. Mine has taken a little longer because I had to find the products to really tell the story. The story is already in me. Now it's about arranging the story, and things will change. I
Right,
I would say don't give up, and it's okay to be wrong because nobody knows it but you. We're so hard on ourselves.
right.
Um, and I'm probably preaching to myself, so thanks for the question. um, I would just say stick to it. Don't give up. Um, you're the only person that knows your story. Nobody else knows it, so they don't know what's right and what's wrong. And it's up to you to tell the story how you want to tell it. And guess what? Tell it one way, tell it another way. I think you can tell your story multiple different ways. Just like I was saying, that this is just volume one.
Yeah.
There's going to be a volume two and a volume three, because as I started really sitting down with writing, I realized there's so much more to this. And at some point I got to stop this book and get it to press, right? Or get a literary agent or self publish it. But I'm literally taking most of my extra income to get this done.
Yeah.
So it is not a hobby, it is like a mission. And I
Yeah.
think if you treat it like a mission and say your story needs to be told, you have to self-direct, and you have to discipline yourself. Yeah, take a break sometimes, walk away from it sometimes. You have to. Um, but don't be afraid to say I'm going to do it. Actually, I really appreciate, ironically, how your December person didn't work out, and he's like, "Hey, Sherry, can you do my December cover?" And it was like something to me said, "You're not ready yet, but say yes," because then that just adds more fuel. I needed that fuel. I didn't know that I needed that fuel, but that's kind of what happened. And I said yes. And now here we are,
Yeah.
on this video. And now it's just like, it's almost like God saying, you better finish this thing. And I know I'm going to finish it because I got a house full of sweaters that I want to get to a museum. Oh, so that's the other part we hadn't even talked about. But
Yeah.
I'm going to donate all these sweaters to either Philadelphia Art Museum or Lackawanna or Metropolitan Museum, whoever will take the collection. But it's a beautiful collection, worth a lot of money at this point. That again, I wanted to take its rightful place in fashion history, and donate them. So so I wanted to do a book signing, traveling art show of these sweaters. So I have so much, for me, keeping me going. It's like I set out a goal. I did a plan. I did a marketing plan because I do marketing, but I have to get people to buy into my marketing plan. So when I show it, that they go, "Oh, aha, I get it. I love this idea. It's new, it's fresh." And I think, for me, coming up with something that's new and fresh that nobody's ever done, that's kind of what I do.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game for me, is doing things that nobody else has done before.
Mhm.
And then so this one is not like someone's paying me to do it. I'm paying myself to do it. I'm self-directed. So I am learning things. I'm learning disciplines. I'm learning, like when I get on a roll and I start, working on something, working on the book, and it's like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I have to tell myself to go to bed because you got to go to work tomorrow. Like you're going to be dragging at work. But when I get involved in it, it's so exciting because I still want to tell this story. This story still in full has to get out. Right now, it's in me. It's on my tables. It's in my closet. It's on my computer. It's right now. It's hitting me every way. And I'm working on the Instagram. There's so many different facets of marketing this product or marketing this story. It can be all consuming. So yeah, I do have to take care of myself. So yeah, thanks for the reminder.
Breathe. But yes, everyone, if you have a story, and everybody does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get that story out. And if you feel that, hey, you know what, it's going to be just too much to write your own book, there's a lot of people out there that do anthologies, that they have groups of people, men and women that, come together and share multiple, stories. You just have to do a chapter. So that really is, you have a lot of options, people, to be able to get your stories out there, So I'm just proud of you, Sherry. I mean, 2020 this year, y'all, this year, she's going later this year,
2026.
2026, this book will be out. And then we're going to be looking at volume 2 and 3. So this is
I might take a break after that. Well, hopefully I'll get a good publisher that gets behind me because and picks up some of the slack, because financially it does get very expensive, and doing the photographs, and my great friend Robert Swap helped photograph some of these sweaters, and really sensationalizing what in the 80s or 90s people think they're like grandma sweaters or whatever. No, these things, this new generation is like, oh my God, I love it. Right. And getting that reaction from them also too says, okay, this is real. This is great. Who knew that you can inspire a generation almost 30 years after the fact,
It's amazing. So let's have some fun. So if you had a completely free day, no meetings, no deadlines, nothing, how would you spend the day recharging and getting inspired?
Well, fortunately, I've been off for a couple of days, and I'll have some time off next week. So that's really dedicated to the book. But if I had a free day and it was really great weather, I'd go to the beach. I'd go to Newport Beach, just walk around, just looking into the deep, taking in the sights. I like to people watch. That would be one day, because, just takes a little time to get to the beach and just eating. And I love food. I love different types of food, experiencing different restaurants and things like that. So that would be my top recharge, because I'm walking around, I'm taking in, I need the vitamin D, as my doctor tells me. You need to get you're inside a lot. You need to get some more vitamin D. And so, and being with friends, just enjoying nature, enjoying outside, enjoying the beauty of flowers and the beach and the ocean. That's probably like my I feel so good. And then eating some good food and just walking around, just taking it in. Or Laguna Beach, where I hit the galleries and I see what the artists are doing and looking at their different styles of painting. That always just really, I did that recently, couple weeks ago, just to go down and do the Christmas shopping down there. That was just really great. Being able to go to the beach in December and not be freezing, right? That's amazing. Another way would be obviously going to the spa and, just falling asleep while somebody gets the knots and the kinks out, because it can be stressful. I put a lot of stress on myself, just the expectations I have of myself can be stressful, because when I really get going, I don't sleep. My mind keeps going and going and going, and or I start sketching or writing down things or what I want to say or what I want to do, and I have an obligation at my job. So it's that part. It's like the work, and then this is a labor of love. The book is a labor of love. So it's trying to find time for that labor of love. So yeah, I have to disconnect from those things that walk away, get out the house. and just kind of just don't think about it for a while. So that's how I recharge. I unplug from the things that I have to see or the things that are like gnawing at me. Like get back to that book. And it's like I know once I sit down, I won't get back up. I just keep going and keep going. And that's just in my nature. But yeah, I do have to really challenge myself to take care of myself and call family, check on them, see how they're doing. Yeah, that's how I just, it's not a formula necessarily. It's kind of like your body or your mind tells you what you need to be doing, or something will inspire me to say, oh, I haven't talked to this person in a while. Give them a call, or you just text them, like just call them, because I think we get so much into texting these days that we don't pick up the phone and call people. And that's, I like to talk. As you can see, we're already at 30 minutes.
No, I love to talk as well. And I love having people on here that love to talk. Okay. So Sherry, for those that want to tap in with you, connect with you, how can they connect with you and stay involved with what you're doing and get updates for My Favorite Things Are Ugly and when it comes out this year?
So next year, 2026.
Yeah.
We don't know the date, but it's coming out. So how they can stay in touch with me is on Instagram. My handle is at the THEE Sherry West. So the Sherry West. And then I've also started a page called My Favorite Things Are Ugly. So there's an Instagram that I'm working on. So I'll be working with the artists. And that's another challenge, getting people to see your vision and help you create the actual artwork that's going to be building this page. So telling a different story in a different way, in an Instagrammable kind of way, and announce the coming of the book. So that'll be at My Favorite Things Are Ugly. So those are my two handles that people can reach me at, or on Facebook. That's really easy, Sherry West. No big secret there. And then once the book comes out, I'll have a .com so that the book can be purchased. And you can learn a little bit more about behind the scenes and any video. And so I'll be, I have video that'll be coming out. And at some point, I like to do a documentary on this because, again, that's a story that can be told without having to buy the book, or, again, inserting these novelty sweaters from the late 80s, early 90s into fashion history, but talking, like even possibly interviewing some of the people I used to work with, so they, get a different perspective of what I was able to do for this company, and how, certain sweaters, like back in the day, would sell over $1 million. One or two styles would be like top sellers. And we didn't have the internet, and we didn't have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok shop. Those things totally didn't exist. So if this were able to be done today, it'd be a totally different story. But you do have companies, but again, these all sold for back then in $130, $150 per sweater. And how much time it took to make. But now you get these mass-produced, machine-made ones, and they're making them look ugly on purpose, whereas these were stories, and people can go, oh my God, I remember this, or, it just really takes you down memory lane. And I like invoking those great memories. So there's a lot going on in telling My Favorite Things Are Ugly. Like, my favorite things are now ugly, but they weren't ugly then. And they're not ugly now, but it's just, this is what pop culture is, So this is what the Princess of Pullover pop culture, who I've dubbed myself as, because it wasn't taken and I just kind of made it up. But, like, no one, to my knowledge, is taking credit for where these began. And I didn't even originate it. I just was a significant contributor to it. Like, some of the best sellers are the most memorable ones. And so that's the story I want to tell, because there's a story that needs to be told. And like you said, everybody has a story to tell. And this just happens to be mine. And now it's just kind of fun. Like, oh my gosh, it took the pandemic for me to go, I think I need to tell this story, right? God gave us all that quiet.
That's right.
For like a year.
That's right. Right. Yeah. A lot of good did come out of that.
Yes.
People use their time well, right?
Yes, I think I did. I think I did use my time well, and still continue to use it well. And I'm glad there's no time limit on doing it, because I didn't think it would take as long. But, actually the consuming of the sweaters, or purchasing and finding the sweaters and waiting for different people to, to upload sweaters. And I'm like, oh my God, this one's there. And I better buy it now, because it could sit there forever and nobody else would care. I care. I'm like, let me get this one. I remember what I was doing when I designed this, what I was thinking when I sketched this, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I'm so fortunate and blessed to be able to access the eBay and Etsy and Poshmark, all these places that resell gently used clothing or other products. I just want the sweaters. I don't need anything else.
Well, Sherry, I want to thank you so much for gracing the cover of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics, sharing your story of becoming an author and just balancing life. I mean, a busy life. I mean, you are such an inspiration. And I hope everyone, you have gotten some great nuggets of knowledge and, have gotten inspired to go out and share your own story as well. If there's something in your belly that you want to talk about it. All right. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. And if, again, you have not subscribed to Phoenix Fitness Fanatics, go to phoenixfitnessfanaticsmag2021.com, get your subscription, learn more about Sherry and all the other amazing people that are in Phoenix Fitness Fanatics to help you elevate that mind, body, and spirit. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Tiffany. God bless everybody. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.